Hey everyone, and welcome back to Stock Talk on September 17th. And what a day we had today. Now, just taking a look at general markets today, we didn't really see dramatic shifts in terms of the markets, but we did have all the markets and selling off: the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones. So the thing that we're looking at right now is we're looking at SPY, the S&P 500, of course, and we're looking at the 180-day chart. And you guys can see, I'm going to actually zoom out for you guys, that we've held this rather extended higher high line, higher low line. All great, right? All great. But what we were really looking for was for a continuation move back to the upside. Now, here's what we're seeing right now, though. Based off of today's movement, we see a double peak. You guys can see that double peak at all-time highs, right? That's interesting to note, and that today was a follow-through in a pretty, big sell-off, considerably when compared to some of the other days in the past few weeks. So that's the first thing. And the second thing I'm looking at is really the triple Qs. And I'm going to point this out to you guys. On the 90-day chart, I've actually boxed in areas of possible support. And the really interesting thing is with the triple Qs, looking at the NASDAQ, we've broken under. Can you guys see that? We've broken under rather definitively the major support line. Okay? So what does this mean? So this trend line is taken out. In all honesty, this trend line is taken out for me. However, what I'm looking for in the next few days, possibly tomorrow, is possible back test of this trend line, and at which we would, this area might function as a resistance, a $67 level. That's the first thing I will be looking at. The second thing I'm looking at is, should this function as a resistance level, which it should, based off of today's impulsive move down, then we would expect some areas of support. That is, well, one area of support, of course, is pretty much where we're at right now, around 65.55. The next area of support is around 64.31. There's many areas of support, but that's telling me that a lot of the tech sector is selling off. And as a matter of fact, we have quite a bit of the FANG stock selling off today. We had Amazon down over 3%. We had Apple down over 2%. Those are certainly the big movers as we're looking at general markets, right? So I'm keeping an eye on this, certainly, as we have done a double peak. And, again, on the SPY, on the S&P 500, we're looking at several levels as support levels. So, the first thing we have a support is around 286.13. I removed a different line. Well, there's another support at around 287.46. So I'm going to draw this one in. So you might be asking, Kevin, how do we know when we're going to reverse? And really, right now, it's difficult to determine. And here's why. It's because right now we've had a lot of news about trade tensions, right? And that is certainly, once again, impacting the markets. Now, regardless of what reason comes out, right, what catalyst comes out, you can see that markets are still bullish, sure. However, a lot of the stocks are a bit overextended. They're a bit valued. And I can just give you guys an example. For example, Amazon, right? It's been on a continuous uptrend for quite a while. Let me show you guys the 3-year chart. Continuous uptrend for quite a while. Now what we're seeing is a more impulsive sell-off back to the where? Well, we could certainly come back to the 20-period moving average, which is situated around 1840. Now, you might be, isn't that really far away? That's really not that far away. That's around $68 away from where we are right now. So that's very easily tackled. Just remember, just a couple of days ago, we were over $2,000, right? So losing $68 on Amazon is certainly possible, and that could be the finishing move or the finishing touch in terms of a major sell-off in the more near term. And that's what we're looking for. Let's take a look at Apple. I just want to show you guys some of these trends. You guys can see how overextended we are, right? You guys can see how overextended we are. And at some point when we're overextended over the 20-period moving average, what do? We consolidate sideways. We even can have some corrections, in the middle before that next push higher. Can you guys see that? We might be in one of those phases right now, and that's, I don't think that's anything to be scared of, but, just keeping in mind that this is what is happening. Now, I know yesterday in the weekend stock talk, I was pointing towards a more bullish signal, but because we are seeing this double peak, we did see a more dramatic decline today. Obviously, that's pointed to a more bearish signal. However, I told you guys that we really have no business coming back and retesting 286, 285.91. If we do come down to that level, again, I want to see how we get to that down to towards that level. Especially if we close under that level, I would look for this support to start. 282. That would be where I would find the next support area, and that's what I'm looking at in the near future. All right. Let's take a look at some of your commodities /CL. Now, before we get into the commodities, please give me a thumbs up if you guys like these videos, if you enjoy these videos. Today is Monday, the start of the week. So we're going to be doing this pretty much almost every day, right? Stock Talks for you guys. So, if you guys are watching this, enjoying this, having a cup of tea while you're doing it, hit that thumbs up. If you liked it. If you don't, no problem, no harm, no foul. Just giving my perspective on the general market trends. All right. So the next thing we're looking at is crude oil futures resistance 70.25 and support level is at 64.65. Now, that's set in stone, right? Today's move really didn't tell a big picture of what's going on. Remember, I told you guys, as long as we kind of stay above $67.44, we're pretty much good, right? Crude oil is going to be on an uptrend, and it is on an uptrend. So, even though today we try to push higher, it didn't work, it could work tomorrow. And that's just what we're looking at. And crude oil still looks bullish. Nothing wrong with this chart if you guys look at this, right? Nothing wrong with that chart. It's consolidating on a short-term uptrend. And that's pretty good, pretty normal. Let's take a look at the next one, /GC or gold futures. In yesterday's video, right, we talked about gold futures in terms of, we had a rather big move down on Friday, but I said that it wouldn't be unusual just to see that pop back up because, not that it would have or could have. It could certainly formed a neutral candle down here today, but we're nearing the area of resistance. We've got rejected several times. However, there is a bull flag formation plus a bear flag. There's certainly different flag formations forming. Not something I'm willing to trade, but gold in the short term is looking more bullish, right? Hence, I pointed out the bull flag formation. So if I guess just give you guys this is usually a continuation move to the upside because we're consolidating at a resistance area, and that's just something I'm looking at for gold. All right. For next one, /NG. Ooh. /NG or natural gas futures. Now, natural gas, I was really looking for. I was really looking for a natural gas retest of the support at 2.744. Did it happen today? It didn't. We got the reversal pretty much at the beginning of the day, and it went, on the futures, and it would just spike up. So with that, okay, sure, I missed the opportunity. However, natural gas did do a double bottom. I really want natural gas to test this bottom, and that's just my opinion. That's where I would personally look for the entry in my, this is what I would do. But right now, you guys can see that we're pretty much near the bottom, and we have rebounded. If this is a continuation move higher, it might take a couple of days to play out for the higher move. Otherwise, I really want this to retest. It might not, and I think a lot of you guys, one of you guys, Brolik, pointed out on the 180-day chart, 4-hour chart, and you follow the trend line, it's already bouncing off the trend line, higher lows. That is very interesting to note, and you take that with a grain of salt, but that is a good pattern for you to look at. I think what you're looking at right now is you might be looking at something like this. Is this what you're looking at? This might be something that you're looking at. That's interesting to note, certainly. Now, I'm not looking at that trend line, but if that was the reason for your entry, we were nearing the area of support anyways. There you go. Very good job, Brolik. This one you called out, so good job. And this is why I love everyone really commenting on the comment section of YouTube under these stock talks. It is all about a team. It is not me going solo telling everyone this is what might happen. This is what might happen left and right, because chances are I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. I'm not going to be right over 90% of the time. However, I am right the majority of the time. But with teamwork and really multiple perspectives, we're right more of that time, right? For example, and let's just say speculation, if I'm right 60% of the time, and we have teamwork involved, then chances are that might be lifted to maybe even higher, 65, 70. That's just different perspectives, and this is all. This is really what trading is all about. If you go about the solo, is just more likely to get things wrong. All right. Let's take a look at a couple of your tickers. So we'll take a look at one of your tickers, which is GLUU. So GLUU. So we do see a peak at $7.64. And you guys can see that, upon earnings, we do have a rather rapid reversal back to the bottom, right? And, the one thing I want to, cautious you on is when I do look at this trend line, right? For example, if I take this trough to peak, move this line over, and just to show you guys, we're nearing the area of where we could potentially go in terms of, symmetrical movement by the market. So, again, we're nearing that area. Your risk, your reward, based off of what you just looked at, that's for you to decide. But we are nearing the area of resistance. Earnings is coming up in, a little over a month, so there's certainly time. But you guys can see that in the middle of earnings, it starts going down, right? It starts going down, and certainly I wouldn't be surprised if this started pointing down a little bit downwards in the near future. All right, thanks for that call out, ticker. Dinesh, can you please analyze MU? Certainly. So MU is one that has been continuously very interesting because we see it, we didn't really hit the $40 support, which was what I was looking for. Can it hit it? Sure it can, but we do have earnings coming up, so you guys can imagine, we have some buyers coming in, try to prop this stock up either before earnings or right during earnings or after earnings. Boom, it goes up, and then what happens? Continuation sell-off afterwards after that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a near-term bounce. Whether that occurs during earnings really depends on the price level. Right now, we're pretty much nearing the middle, but we're still in the lower 50 percentile of the support area. So that's something to watch, Micron Technology. But right now, overall big picture, this is on a downtrend. I showed you guys a major problem with Micron is because we've had a significant move up in the past few years. A significant move up usually results in a rather significant move down when the time occurs, and the time is right now. So Micron, just be careful on that one, as we have some downgrades on this one as well. Space Ghost, AMD will go higher, Intel is stuck, NVIDIA is getting lazier. AMD, right? Yeah, so AMD, you guys can see that AMD is actually held up rather well today, given that we had, markets kind of moving lower, right? But what is AMD doing right now? It's consolidating sideways, right? That's pretty interesting. It looks like it's having the power necessary to power through this level in the future. But right now, AMD, yeah, I agree. You certainly, for this stock, you don't want to be forcing a trade when it's going higher, right? What you really want to be doing is if you can get this at a discount, that would be a good area to look at. Good morning. Good morning, John. All right, so NEO. So I talked about NEO on Sunday Stock Talk, right? In terms of this is a stock that went IPO rather recently, right? 4 days ago. And I told you guys, with these kind of stocks, it's going to move as fast as it moves higher. It can go down rather quickly. And you guys can see if you're shorting at the top, congratulations, you made a significant profit. However, this is very volatile. You guys can see on the intraday chart how we just pretty much didn't even have any bounce, right? It just kept going lower, another 14%. So if you guys can imagine, if you're guessing, and we really can't do technicals on this, I told you guys yesterday on the weekend Stock Talk, we can't do technicals on these graphs because we don't have any time frames to work with. 4 days is not a good technical pattern to work with, and therefore you guys can see, this was a continuation move back down, and this is one I would steer clear of, in my opinion. I like consistent trades. I don't like playing my chances on a stock that just went IPO, that went 70+% one day and then negative 14% in others. Out of my range right now. Last one I'll tackle today, and I think we went to 4 tickers accidentally, but it's okay, no problem, is NAIL, right? N-A-I-L. And the one thing about NAIL is this one is just really scattered. If you guys can imagine, you know, we do see a base support, but this is a lower low support. Can you guys see how this is a lower low support? And with that, if I gave you guys this line, you know, I'm going to remove out this line, and that if I give you guys this line, we have a probable move back to the $47 level. And, you know, this is just not looking good. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, once again, you guys can see that we've had a massive up move in the past year or so, past, actually, 2017, yeah, past year, and now we're moving lower, and there's really no sign of reversal. I really want to caution you guys, you know, where is that sign of reversal? If you see that sign of reversal, by all means tell me and say, okay, this is the sign of reversal and this is why I'm going in this ETF. But right now, you guys can see we're getting squeezed in by this lower low support line and this 20 period moving average. Not good, as this is a declining pattern, but once we do see that reversal, please feel free to comment back and we'll take a look at it again. In the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching these videos. I will see you guys tomorrow for a Tuesday Stock Talk. I have something on the stove. I believe it is burning. And, you know, I think this video is around 10 or 15 minutes. But once again, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see how the markets play out. I'm really I'll be eyeing the future, certainly. But more and so how we open and close tomorrow in terms of the trading day. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading.